This is Aaron Ralston, an American mountaineer. There is a movie about him called 127 Hours. What is he known for? While conquering a mountain slope, he got stuck in a canyon gorge and spent 5 days and 7 hours there with his right hand trapped under a boulder. He had two choices, either give up and die or fight for his life. He chose the second one, and he cut off his own hand to do it. In this video, we will tell you his story. Aaron Ralston was born in 1975. At the age of 12, he moved from the Midwest to Colorado. Ever since he was a little boy, he loved the nature and the mountains, and dreamed of conquering them one day. After graduating from Carnegie Mellon University as a mechanical engineer, Aaron worked in his field at Intel in New Mexico for a while. But his passion for the extreme and conquering the wilderness made itself felt. On that fateful day, April 26, 2003, Aaron had some serious climbing experience under his belt. He had traveled to southern Utah, to Blue John Canyon, to practice for the Colorado peak climbing series he planned for the winter season. After collecting his gear and provisions, Aaron rode the pickup truck to the parking lot, got on his mountain bike, and after a 15-kilometer ride, continued on foot. When he reached the canyon, he began the descent into one of the gorges. A boulder weighing 400 kilograms blocked the gorge from above. Unfortunately, at that moment the boulder collapsed on Aaron's poor arm, broke its bones, and severed its arteries. He became a prisoner of the ill-fated gorge, which was half a meter wide at the place where the climber had been. The top of the gorge was a meter wide. His arm was firmly pressed to the wall by a rock. Aaron could hardly move, but the worst was yet to come. During the first hours of his confinement, Aaron barely managed to reach the contents of his backpack, as he realized that he could not move the stone with his free hand or with his physical strength. He began to pound it with his knife, but all was in vain. The situation was critical. Aaron had no communication. He could not call anyone because there was no one around. He also didn't tell anyone what he was going to do. In general, there was no help to be had. Desperate, Aaron recorded a farewell video for relatives and friends. On the fourth day, he ran out of food and water. Then he began to drink urine, but he quickly ran out of it too. Soon, periods of hallucinations and loss of consciousness began. On the fifth day, during a brief epiphany, Aaron asked himself the question, what to do? Surrender and die or fight for life? He chose the second one and made the terrible but courageous decision to amputate his arm. At this point, he had already suffered in the gorge for 5 days and 7 hours. Having put an artisanal tourniquet on, the climber began to cut his arm with a blunt knife just below the elbow, without any anesthesia whatsoever. It is impossible even to imagine the pain he endured for an hour as he tried to saw through his radius and ulna. When he was done, he made a makeshift bandage out of climbing gear to support his stump. After that, Aaron began the 23-meter descent to the bottom of the gorge. Then, struggling with bleeding and traumatic shock, he walked almost 10 kilometers until he accidentally bumped into a married couple from the Netherlands who were on a tour of the area. They called a rescue helicopter, which hospitalized Aaron. Next was a surgical operation with the installation of a prosthesis and a hard rehabilitation. After that, Aaron was finally able to return to a normal life. And what do you think he did after that? Yes, he went back to mountaineering, and he still does it today. He married, made 2 children, founded his own company, and now, as before, keeps his love for the mountains. His courageous and strong-willed act has helped many people get motivated and overcome obstacles in their life's journey. Aaron Ralston is truly one of the heroes of our time, an example of strong spirit and resilience, love of life, and loyalty to his cause. If you liked this story, share your opinion in the comments. What would you have done in Aaron's shoes? Also subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more stories about extraordinary people. Who else would you like to hear story about?